deliver, you didn't deposit the rent, my guy's coming to pick it up. Yeah, yeah.
And what kind of contracts does it look like? A 2-page, a 10-page?
Which one, the leases?
Purchasing.
Oh, my purchase agreement's a 2-pager. In Florida, you can't get away with a 2-pager.
Oh, I use it.
I used to, but now everything that I've been doing in Florida is FARBAR. Because just the sellers here in Florida, you send them, okay, how's this? If you're dealing with anybody savvy in Florida and you send them a 2-page contract and they send it to their attorney to look at, they don't even call you back.
Yeah.
Happened to me before.
No, it's going to happen because the Florida, everybody's so conditioned to the FARBAR and they want it to be more legit. So it doesn't matter. Whatever you're going to put in your 2-page, in the special sections section, you can write the same stuff. It's just, appearance is so important that, you don't get, what do they say? You have one chance for a first impression. You don't get a second chance, so.
Some sellers get scared by the 12-page, so that's why I use a 2-page.
I know, but.
And I made a $50K assignment on a 2-page, 4-plex in Boynton with a pool.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The guy, he didn't even see the HUD that I made $50K. There was no blind HUD or nothing.
Right. You gotta know.
It was a 2-page.
Right. Yeah,
He did not have an attorney.
right.
I did disclose that I'm a realtor. I have to.
Right.
You have to disclose.
See, I'm not a realtor. My
If you're
wife is a realtor.
You have to disclose that if you wholesale. You have to.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah.
Before any business.
It's on the contract.
Yeah.
I put it on the contract.
Yeah. Right.
And when I call them, I tell them, by the way, I'm an agent, but
Right. And so that they know and they can't come back and they can't say, well, you did this, you did that. Right.
Yeah.
Right. So I would say since 2009, I've probably done about 250 flips.
in Memphis or here?
No, here. The 70, okay, 250 plus 50 because, so I didn't even count the Memphis. Right, we basically turned 50 units in Memphis. Yeah, so it was, but it's relationships. You guys also have to understand, relationships are gold. Your relationship capital that you're able to develop and the credibility that you can develop with people is worth more than anything because I had somebody open a door for me in Memphis and vouch for me and turn me on to contractors. I have more available contractors than I have work right now in Memphis. So,
It's a good problem to
right,
have.
it's a good problem to have. And then the other thing is, it's one thing to be an absentee owner or landlord, but it's another thing when I needed to get work done. I was in Memphis for, I would say, October, November, December. I came home for like a week or two, but I was like on the ground. I needed stuff done. We were doing 25 remodels at a time. So it's like I had people moving and, it's for the contractors to see the owner working alongside of them, it builds more credibility than anything. Yeah.
Do they have title companies or attorneys over there?
Attorney title company. The guy who brought me there, not only did he introduce me to the title company, but the owner of the title company became my hard money lender. And on the relationship that I built with him over a weekend, on a limb went out and lent me $2 million before we had done any business together.
Nice.
It's incredible. So it's just building that relationship,
Sorry to ask so
building the
many
rapport.
questions, but-
No, I like it. Because
Did you ever assign a property, wholesale property in Memphis?
that's the reason that I started buying. Wait, listen to this. The reason I started building the portfolio was because I went there, I got a deal, I worked my ass off, excuse my French, and made $3,500 on an assignment. And my buddy who brought me there, he said, listen, you're doing it all wrong. Don't assign properties here. Buy the properties, do everybody here know what the BRRRR method is?
Yeah.
Do the refi, and you'll make more money on the refi and own the property and have somebody paying your mortgage forever.
What's the BRRRR method?
The BRRRR method is you buy, you renovate, you rent it out, you refinance it, and then you repeat that same action over and over and over again. Yeah?
I have a question.
Yeah.
With remote property management,
Yeah?
how do you cover the risk of fallout between the current property manager? How do you have other property managers lined up, or I mean, how do you deal with that?
I brought somebody in, I brought one of my guys who were in Memphis, and they helped me build out the property management team. I was self-managing it from the beginning. And then we transitioned it into a much more structured situation. But I had another company, I had gone there, I had interviewed, I was gonna hire this company to do it, but then I realized, let me bring it in-house and let me develop the systems and do it ourselves.
Would you have a few like pointers on identifying a good property management company? Or
What turned me off, the issue that I had was that the property management companies in Memphis, you're just a number. So when you have one person handling 500 units, how much time are they going to have to deal with your stuff?
Yeah.
Right. The way to do it is to get that mom and pop, get that extra special.
More of a boutique.
Exactly. Yep.
Than,
Yeah, because if you're just a number, they're not going to handle your stuff. And another thing you need to know is that with the property management companies, the fee that they charge is a lost leader. Lost leader means they're going to charge you 6 or 7% to collect your rent. So that means if it's $1,000 a month, they're going to charge you either $60 or $70 of that $1,000. But they don't want it for the $1,000. They want it for the repairs. That's where all the money is made in these property management companies. They just gouge you with, oh, well, the toilet's stopped up, this is done. Because remember, you're always going to have something go wrong with these properties. Always. So another thing, so as I was buying properties and fixing and flipping, and remember, I had come from so far down that I didn't have the ability to keep as many properties in South Florida along my way to rebuilding. But I was able to keep a few duplexes in North Miami Beach. So as I saw end of fourth quarter, I said, things are crazy, things are just incredible. This can't stay. The rates are so low. I said to myself, why don't you got bit the last time at the top of the market, you couldn't sell a thing. Why don't you go right now and leverage and sell off the duplexes you have that I had tremendous equity and try and maximize so that once March, April comes along, you're not going to get bit and not be able to sell. So I took 3 duplexes and I was able to turn those 3 duplexes into massive sales the first 6 months of this year, which basically some of them, they're not worth what I sold them for today. Yeah. And then also, what I was able to do, having the connections with the contractors, we took a terrace, okay? So I had a duplex. It was a legal duplex in North Miami. We had a covered terrace. That covered terrace, we turned that into an efficiency. So I spent $8,500 to build out an efficiency, and when I went and sold the property, I got $100K more on the retail sale because it had that extra efficiency. Yeah.
Not to get personal,
Yep.
but how do you hold title and what are the tax implications? So let's say you've made a lot of money on those duplexes. Is that under an LLC?
Yeah, it's under an LLC. Yeah. All the properties that I have in Memphis are through a self-directed IRA. So that's basically a 401k that was transferred into a self-directed IRA, which allows you to invest your own funds. So instead of Prudential or Charles Schwab or one of them investing your money in money market, you're able to go and invest the money yourself. So I'm just creating wealth in order for it to just build and build and build, and then when I'm at 64, you're able to withdraw with no tax implications.
So that's better than an escort?
It's just different because there aren't, listen, as long as I don't touch it up until I'm 64 years old, there are no taxes.
So you'd be holding them for how many years? So you wouldn't sell them?
No, if I sell, it's going to be sold in the IRA, and I'm not going to capture those funds. I would just continue to invest those funds in the IRA.
Yeah, only if you
Only if you withdraw. If you withdraw, you're going to get whacked.
Yes, yes.
Good question. For
Yeah.
the IRA, I mean, you can only put in, was it 19,500 per year into
Right.
that IRA? So
Yeah.
you have to compound that for years in order to have.
Right, so we had done that for quite a few years, and then the monies that are in the IRA can also, the IRA can get loans. So the hard money lenders were lending to the IRA, and we were buying the properties with these loans and then refinancing them within the IRA. Yeah.
And you gotta get a lawyer to start something like that?
No, I could email you the company that I use. They're out of Nashville, Tennessee. It's a company called Entrust, and we were able to, parlay these funds. Yeah.
How are you preparing for the tax liability once you pull out of your IRA?
I'm waiting. I'm just going to continue. So we have multiple LLCs. We have LLCs that create income, active income for us to be able to live our lifestyle. And then everything that I put into the IRA, that's just building up until the time where I'll turn 64, and then we'll see what's there.
Yeah, it's a long-term vehicle, right? So it's not addressing short-term cash flow, things like that.
No, that's why I have other LLCs where we address the short-term cash flow, and that's just for the long-term.
Your strategy makes a lot of sense, and it's something that I've also looked into, and I was just wondering, in terms of the management of the SEI, of the self-directed IRA, you said it was Entrust, your management?
Entrust is the name of the self-directed IRA management company. Yeah,
All right, thank you.
yeah, yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no.
I got lost in the sauce. So you're saying the self-directed IRA, you're using it to?
I'm using it to buy properties.
Buy property.
Yeah. So instead of buying mutual funds or giving the money to Schwab for them to buy mutual funds to make 12 to 14%, and then on a down year you're losing money, we're using those funds and investing ourselves.
And there was no withdrawal free?
No, if you withdraw, you're going to get hit
Right.
massive.
As long as you don't withdraw.
As long as you don't withdraw, right.
So it's just a transfer of funds.
It's a vehicle, it's an investment vehicle to continue to compound growth, as opposed to, you're not going to take that money and live off of it.
Yeah.
Right. Because you can get really hammered.
Okay, I understand. So it's not withdrawal because you're using it as an investment tool.
Correct.
To acquire.
And then when we buy, and then
Right.
like the monies come in for rent,
Yeah.
our rent money comes in, whatever's left over, we're reinvesting into properties, we're using that as down payments, we're using that as remodeling funds for new properties and such.
So you're using that to avoid the tax liability?
Right?
Okay,
Yeah.
understand.
It's a retirement fund, pretty much.
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
Going back to the marketing a little bit, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
So you said you have, just, what are some of the, what's the one? So they're cold call, your cold callers are getting
Right.
all the pre-qualifications, and it goes through your lead manager, right?
Right.
So before it gets to whoever sets the appointment, does your lead manager sets the appointment?
So we have, one of the girls from the Philippines, she's setting appointments, but a lot of everything is being done virtually. So
Right.
she's setting appointments for phone calls.
Yes.
Right.
So then the cold caller's responsibility is only pre-qual, the 4 pillars, doing the
That's
4
it.
pillar call, and then the lead manager's the one that
Right.
is.
The moment that the lead goes from, literally, when they hit send, the cold callers are out at that point. They have nothing, all they have to do is continue to call to get more leads.
And what about going back, the follow-up?
Right.
Right, because it is, so a lot of the people that are you gonna call, they're not ready now, right?
Right.
So they're in a list of, of your Zen call, right? Do they go to
No,
your CRM?
they go to the CRM, right. The moment it comes into the CRM, you're making communications and you're putting follow-up dates.
Right.
And then, like, if somebody tells you, I'm not ready, call me in a month, that means call them in 2 weeks.
Yes.
Right.
So do you mind if I ask what CRM you use?
So we were using Podio. We were using something called Beast Mode Podio, which was all the bells and whistles that we weren't using. Then we transitioned into a more refined Podio, and then we were getting terrible. Our contact rates from my acquisitions were bad, so we figured we went to another one called FreedomSoft, and FreedomSoft has click to call, in it.
And you can get the recording?
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything. Yeah.
And then, you know, when you say you're calling, they're doing cold calling, I mean, are you looking at tax records and you're getting their numbers?
Okay, so no, what we're doing is we're pulling lists from different data providers, PropStream being one of them, FreedomSoft we get from them as well. And then from there, we're sending the lists of names and addresses to skip tracing companies. And they're sending it back to us, and we're getting the numbers through them. Yeah, we're not going and cross-referencing.
Right,
you know.
that takes a lot.
Right, no, you're done. You're done.
Do you use all the numbers? Sometimes they send you 10 numbers.
I know, that's the problem. See, for call tools, you could only put in 2.
Not the new Call Tools version 2.
Really?
You don't have to be a programmer now. It's easy. I've been using it for years.
Okay.
You don't have to do the parentheses and all that.
Right.
Not
right.
anymore.
Right.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I only use the first 2 rows.
Right.
Because they're usually the decision
Right.
makers. I don't want to talk to the tenant, the brother, the sister,
Right.
the cousin.
Right.
But I have friends that use all of them.
Yeah.
But then your cold callers are going to get pissed off because they're getting a lot of wrong numbers.
Right,
They get
right.
Their mojo, their flow, get
Right,
ridiculous.
right. We don't
They want to
use-
do good in the
right.
Philippines. They want to do
Of
good.
course.
Who do you use for skip tracing?
Well, so we were originally, okay, we bounced around with the skip tracing. The skip tracing is, you can spend 15 cents a phone number down to 3 cents a phone number. We originally started with Batch because of Brent Daniels. Batch, we then transitioned, I'm using a company now out of North Carolina, and it's costing me 3 cents. It's called Kind Skip Tracing.
Kind?
Yeah, his name is Josh Chan.
It's a smaller company. Is the quality compatible to Batch and?
I mean, listen, you're not paying 15 cents, but, you know, we're sending in more data and we're you know, but 3 cents.
I pay 3 cents too.
Huh?
I pay 3
Do
cents.
you?
Fiber.
Really?
Guy in fiber, yeah. Mizan.
Wow.
Mizan 70, I've been using it for 3 years.
Incredible.
The first 2 numbers are pretty accurate. The
That's
rest
cool.
are garbage.
What do you,
So what caused you to get flagged by Twilio?
it wasn't, okay, so I think it was just too many texts going to, or it went to spam. So that's another thing. You have to continuously be changing phone numbers. When you're doing the cold calling game, or you're doing the texting game, we have a system where it checks and sees what numbers are flagged, what numbers come in as spam. So we're continuously changing numbers, because the moment your number is flagged, your contact ratio goes in the tubes.
What do you use to track that?
There's a company that I have that I'll send it over to Rich. To be honest with you, I don't know exactly, but
Call Tools tells me when it's flagged now.
Yeah, but it's not as good.
So how many dials per number before you trash the number?
well, we're continuously checking all these numbers. We're going through on a weekly basis to see what's flagged, what isn't, and rotating.
I change all my numbers based on the calls per number.
Right.
Anything approaching 200 calls per number, I'm changing it.
Wow.
All right, so
I
I'm
get
trying
60 numbers every 5 days.
I'm trying to understand. So if I'm doing cold calling and I speak to a potential seller,
Uh-huh.
you're saying that they'll block the number?
No,
I use Google Voice for my number.
Right, no, what I'm saying is that potentially the carrier, be it AT&T, Sprint, Verizon, they have their robo-killing software, and they can pick up on the fact that your number is possible spam.
Spam.
Oh,
Yeah,
It pops up on your phone.
right, it says scam likely, or, yeah.
so when you use your personal number too much, they're just gonna.
Don't use your personal number.
I don't use my person, I use Google Voice
Right.
to get
Don't.
different numbers.
Yeah.
Josh Chen with Kind.
Kind skip tracing.
How do you spell that?
Kind, K-I-N-D.
Kind. okay.
Yep. Go on Facebook, Joshua Chan. He's out of North Carolina. Every week he has a different color hair.
What's the turnaround time on the numbers? Let's say I send them 10,000 numbers. When am I going to get them back?
A day.
Really, in one day, 10,000 numbers? That guy takes 2 days.
And he's got data as well. Yeah.
Kind skip tree.
So
Yeah.
3 cents
Joshua
per
Chan, C-H-E-N?
C-H-A-N.
A-N, oh, Chan. Okay.
Let me see if I missed anything here, because we're not in a rush.
You want to take a quick break while I give away a book, just to rest your voice a little bit?
Whatever you wanna do.
No, I want you to keep talking.
No, it's all good.
Check your notes, get a drink of water. Let me,
Yeah.
you guys want to, I'm gonna give away a book. Is that all right? Is that all right, Brent?
Of course.
I don't want to interrupt you. I don't want you to get sore on me. Oh, great, good. Pick a number for me, pick a number for me. Good. Perfect, no, that happened for a reason. Pick a number, thank you. You didn't pick your number, did you? Everybody got one of these when you came in? Okay, today we're giving away a book. I love books. How to Be Rich. Why do I like this title?
That's your name.
Thank you. How to Be Rich. Last three are 159.
Ooh, 151. I was
If you would have won, I would have freaked out. 159. Anybody got 159 last three digits? 159? I need, Chelsea, don't go, I need another number. Come here.
Okay, wait.
I want you to pick it. Better yet, let my speaker pick it.
159, Rich?
Was that you?
Yeah, that's me.
Didn't you win last week? Didn't you win last week?
All right, this man wants to read.
Wait a minute. He won a gift card to First Watch. Did you win
That's
last
awesome.
week too?
Yeah, last
Wait a
week I won.
minute. Let me see that ticket. Hold on a second.
159.
Are you freaking kidding? He won 2 weeks in a row.
That's great.
Figure out like a-
Wait a minute, man. I want you to pick my next lottery. I don't play the lottery, but with you, I'm gonna play the lottery, brother. 2 weeks in a row.
That's great.
Very nice.
Who in here has read the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill?
It was a wonderful book.
Wonderful. If anybody in the room hasn't read Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, buy it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then how about The Go-Giver? How many times, you've read The Go-Giver?
Me?
Yes.
About 50 times.
Right.
And Think and Go Rich, I read it every day.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great.
I gave it away at one of my meetups too. I think my second meetup.
Yeah, I read all the Go-Givers. It's great.